Steve?
Thank you. Thank you. I'd like to conclude our presentation, if I may, by setting out the facts on new media broadcasting and the decision that we believe is before the Commission. First, as is clear from Genevieve's discussion of our activities, the costs of new media are real and significant and continue to rise. Second, as Steve indicated, there is no current business case for new media broadcasting. Very few revenues are being generated from new media broadcasting to cover rising costs. Third, the existing funding models for traditional broadcasting are already spread thinly, and if new media broadcasting costs continue to be simply added to the mix with no new revenues, logically the system will be weakened, not strengthened. So those are the facts. With those facts, it's our view that the policy choices for the Commission are straightforward. First, assuming the Commission believes that these services contribute in a material manner to Canadian broadcast policy, it must decide whether regulatory support for new media broadcasting is required. In other words, will revenues soon emerge in the marketplace to cover the costs of new media broadcasting? If the Commission believes the answer is yes, then it can simply step back and continue to monitor the sector. If the Commission concludes otherwise, the next step is to determine whether interim or permanent support is required and the form this support should take. Prior to today's appearance, CBC Radio-Canada had not advocated a specific funding model for new media. We had simply taken the view that we believed new funding was required. We have since come to the conclusion that the only reasonable and effective funding approach is to require a contribution from ISPs. Given the increasing importance that broadcasting distribution plays for ISPs and the difficulty of implementing other traditional regulatory tools in the non-linear new media space, it makes sense that ISPs be required to make a contribution. Finally, it is our view that the creation of an ISP contribution is within the Commission's authority and jurisdiction under the Broadcasting Act. As we see it, the definition of distribution undertaking in the Broadcasting Act focuses on the activity undertaken, which is the reception and retransmission of the programming services of others, rather than the technology used to carry on this activity. We therefore think ISPs are captured by the current definition. Therefore, we believe it is possible for the Commission to require an ISP contribution pursuant to the Act, and that it should do so on an interim basis as it continues to conduct periodic reviews on the development of a new media broadcasting business model. We'd be pleased to respond to any questions you may have. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for your presentation.